my name is John Bushy, and I have a 7-ton truck that I bought from the Marine Corps. And this video today is going to be about taking the truck out into the desert, the Utah desert, and seeing how it does. And so right now I'm leaving my property. I kind of live out in the country. This is a town called Harriman, which is a subdivision of Salt Lake City. And you can kind of see the roads are just dirt, gravel, and the houses are pretty far apart. Most of the people in this area own 1 or 2 acres of land, which is good when you have a 7-ton truck because turning it around takes about an acre. And right now I'm heading to the gas station. I need to get some fuel. One of the reasons I'm going out into the desert, I just changed the transmission fluid, and I want to get the transmission up to operating temperature, which is really hard to do. Oh, the guy here, he has a couple horses and some goats I've seen there. Oh, and now we're kind of getting back to civilization. You can see where the road changes here to a paved road, which, wow, that's really nice, a paved road. And now the houses are a lot closer together. And the second reason is I want to check my fuel mileage, how many miles per gallon I'm getting. So a couple reasons to go out into the desert and just to have fun. Oh, we're coming up to a little school here, but actually I did all of this during the virus, the COVID-19, and so no one's at school. And it's a Sunday anyway, very early Sunday morning. You can see the mountains off in the distance out there. Salt Lake City is right next to the mountains, but it's also right next to the desert. So basically, I'm heading to the gas station, then I'm going to be driving north, where I will hook up to I-80, and then on I-80 I'm going to be going west out into the desert. I'm not sure how much of the audio you can hear, but I had some problems with the transmission shifting. So like right now, I'm not sure if you can hear it, but the transmission had a problem shifting from its first gear that it's in to the second gear. The truck doesn't start out in first gear, it starts out in second gear, and then it goes to third gear. But anyway, that transition was a really hard shift, and it was really delayed. So now I've made it out onto I-80, and I'm following a UPS truck. I'm getting ready to pass the UPS truck because it's going kind of slow. But then I see that his lane ends, and so I slow back down and let him come on over into this lane. The truck will pretty easily do 65 out on the freeway. This is kind of a feeder that gets to I-80. This isn't I-80 yet. Changing the transmission fluid worked pretty good, and it did make a difference, but I never had a chance to get the transmission up to its operating temperature. And driving around town and stuff, you really can't do that. Even if you're driving on the freeway. I think it takes at least 20 minutes, maybe closer to 40 minutes of driving at a good clip, 65, to get the transmission up to temperature. The gauge starts at 160, and I think the normal operating temperature is between 180 and 200 degrees. So, and it's a pretty nice warm day today that I'm making this video. So the transmission did get warm enough to where we can get the new fluid circulating in all the various parts. I was afraid that if it's now, that's I-80 down below, and so now me and the UPS truck are going to jump on I-80, and basically we're heading west towards Nevada. There's a little town, though, just west of Salt Lake City, on the other side of this mountain you can see, called Tooele. Yeah, there really is a town called Tooele. Tooele, Grantsville, a few other cities over here. So we're heading that way. If the transmission isn't up to operating temperature, then I'm not sure that the fluid is circulating through the transmission cooler and things like that. So this has been my first opportunity since changing the oil to get out on the freeway and get that transmission up to operating temperature, and it worked. I checked the temperature gauge, and sure enough, it finally got off 160 and started making its way up to the normal range. So I was successful there. We're going past the Great Salt Lake. It's off to the right here. You'll see some little puddles of water and stuff. The lake itself is out a little ways out of the range of the camera. Oh, and by the way, I did forget to turn off the dash cam date and time showing down there. Oh, we just went by one sign that talked about the city we're coming up to, and I think there's a couple more signs here, but this part's a little bit boring. I think I'm just going to switch to the part where we get off the freeway and go to the desert. So here we are on an off-ramp coming down. Oh, if you've ever wondered where Morton Salt comes from, I don't think you can see the Morton Salt logo over there, but off to the right, that's a big pile of salt, and sure enough, that's the table salt that you eat that comes from Utah. That's one of their plants. So now we're turning onto a little road here. This is the road that goes to Dugway. The Army has a base in Utah, a couple actually, and this one's called Dugway, so we're headed out to Dugway. We're actually not going to get all the way there. It's maybe another hour drive out in the desert. It's pretty remote. You can see now that the truck can do pretty good. I mean, we stopped back there as we were getting off the freeway, and now I think we're doing close to 60. So the truck has some pretty good acceleration. Oh, I should also mention that my truck has two things that are a little unusual. Well, maybe three. First of all, I have the tow bar mounted to the front, and second, there's a little mirror there. I'm not exactly sure what that mirror is for. I guess it helps with parking, or maybe if you're trying to turn a corner and there's some cars or some obstacles in the way, that mirror will help you see your front bumper and if you're going to hit anything. So right now, off to the left of the screen is where a lot of people will go to do shooting in Utah. This is all BLM land here. And there's a little road that turns off and goes up to the shooting area. And so I'm kind of going a little bit slower now, I think, looking for that road, that turnoff. Oh, there's a sign on here, I guess I missed it already, that says, it talks about hauling nuclear material. Yeah, I guess it was back before. And it's not illegal to haul nuclear material on this road, but it's illegal to do it without it being tarped. So, for those of you who are planning on driving down this road to the Dugway Army base, make sure you have all your radioactive material tarped. So here we are on a dirt road, and it's pretty heavily rutted. A lot of guys go out in the winter to go shooting and stuff, and leaves a lot of ruts when this road gets muddy. I purposely am hitting the ruts, just I want to see how well the truck does and everything. These trucks have a very stiff suspension, which, you know, can be expected. It's supposed to haul 15 tons, and so you really do feel the bumps and everything. Not as much as you would in like a pickup or a car or something like that, but it's certainly not a very plush ride. Although the big tires do help, and so there's no way the truck's going to get stuck in these ruts or anything like that. The tires are really good at smoothing out some of the larger bumps. The road, this road isn't very good, but even out on the freeway, it's a pretty stiff ride. So that's one thing to keep in mind about the 7 tons. Oh, another thing is, you're up so high in the 7 ton that it really seems like you're going slow. And so out on the freeway, I was doing 65, and it seemed like I was doing maybe 35 or 40. and I guess that's just an optical illusion because you're up so high. So straight up ahead, the road goes right up to those mountains there, and you can see a little road that goes up along the face of the mountain into a little bowl area, and that's where a lot of people were shooting. I noticed on this particular day there wasn't anyone there shooting in the bowl, but there is a road that parallels the face of this mountain, and it goes quite a ways. And there's a lot of places along that road then that you can stop off to the left on the mountainside and shoot into the mountain, and there's quite a few people out there today. So this is the Utah desert. A lot of people are surprised to see it's kind of green for a desert, and there isn't a lot of sand. This is kind of an alkaline clay material. And there are cows that are grazed out here. This is early summer, so there's still some green. Oh, one of the shooting places is off to the left. You can just see, I don't know what that was, an old refrigerator or a chair or something that someone put there, and then they shoot at it. The truck did really well. I was very happy that the transmission was working great. It didn't get very hot. The shifting is noticeably improved from the way it was before when it had the 15W40 in there. I put automatic transmission fluid in instead. At this point I was having a little electrical problem, so I decided to stop and fix it. And up ahead you can kind of see off to the left of the road a little bit, there's a white pickup there sitting there, I think. That's a couple guys shooting, and later on I'm going to drive past them, but I think the video's getting kind of boring, so maybe I'll stop it. I did have one point up ahead that I didn't get on the video where I lost traction. It was a really steep incline, and the truck lost traction on the third axle. Well, that's the video, and thank you for watching.